Did you get really hyped about the games of E3, but only have $60 to buy one AAA title? Well, have no fear, the Steam Summer Sale is here, and we're gonna maximize that $60 into many interesting and unique titles that will scratch that itch. Also, not all these substitutions are going to be perfect, but I could guarantee that you can get some enjoyment from them. I have problems remembering both of these games, so that's the biggest comparison. Their names are forgettable, but both have a red-headed protagonist in a post-apocalyptic world. There's a lot of weird technology. Journey is actually a retelling of the ancient Chinese tale, Journey to the West. It's just a criminally underrated game that's about 10 hours long and has DLC that I honestly never really checked out. That's a well spent $4.99. Dead Rising 2 is fun, and the combo system makes for interesting and meaningful upgrades. Many people criticize the game for putting a time limit on you, but the thing is that if there wasn't a time limit, there would be the immersion, and the gameplay would lose its charge when you could just wander about for no reason. The time limit gives an open world game pacing worthy of a linear game. What am I talking about, really? It's Dead Rising. Probably you've already played it. It's a fun game that lasts about 14 and a half hours and costs only $5.99. You know what really satisfies the itch of a emasculating, gung-ho, power fantasy military shooter that is Call of Duty and Battlefield? Well, a game that makes you really depressed and shows you how depressing war really is. No, this war of mine is not a shooter. It's more akin to a survival strategy game. Having civilians stuck in a war-torn country, this war of mine piles on the tears. Think of it as while you're having your Call of Duty or Battlefield shootout, the civilians are having their own problems of just surviving. It's almost the antithesis of the Call of Duty and Battlefield games, but I think that people who like those games should still give this game a chance. It's interesting. It's a 10-hour game that's $4.99. The inspiration becomes the inspired. I've always thought that the Dark Souls series is more of a modern interpretation of The Legend of Zelda than any other Legend of Zelda game. Not really a criticism of the other Zelda games. If there ever was a time to try out Dark Souls, it's now. But first, it's dangerous to go alone. Take these tips if you are to survive out there. First, talk to people until they start repeating themselves. And secondly, download the mod DS Fix. You're welcome. Dark Souls Prepare to Die Edition includes the excellent Artorias of the Abyss DLC expansion, bringing in the package to about a 50-hour runtime, which you could try for the price of a Subway footlong before taxes, $4.99. There seems to be a lot of games lately with highly deep-powered protagonists in a horror setting, and Resident Evil 7 seems to be following that trend. So why not play the game that popularized this? With the ever-so-speaky Amnesia: The Dark Descent. It's a horror game that does horror right. What do you want me to say? I don't want to show so much as to ruin the game, so yeah. Amnesia is an 8-hour game that you could purchase for $3.99. Guns of Icarus is basically steampunk Sea of Thieves on the PvP front. It's not as big, but hey, doesn't matter, it gets the job done. Get this with friends and pretend to be a sky captain, gunner, machine, mechanic, whatever. It's a fun multiplayer game for $3.39. Do you like that trailer for Detroit Become Human? Do you want to play another game by David Cage that has a lot of promise, but then almost immediately disappointed people? I'm not going to spoil anything, as this is a narrative-driven game, but the opening is a very promising and amazing opening. But after that, I don't really hold you to play the rest of the game. But hey, there's a weird story in there. Some people really like this game. I don't really care for the story. There is a clear point where it does jump the shark, and you're like, okay, that just happened. Gameplay is similar to what I suspect Detroit to be, because David Cage only makes those types of games. But Detroit doesn't seem to be that weird, so Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy Remastered is an 8-hour game you could get for $4.99. Well, Bioshock isn't a procedurally generated game, but that doesn't stop it from being one of the best games of all time. Seriously, if you haven't played Bioshock, the opening sequence is one of the best in all of gaming. Gameplay between these two, Bioshock and We Happy Few, is very similar. Bioshock is pretty much a must-buy, and that takes about 12 hours to beat, and costs $3.99. Another not exact substitution, but hey, I'm trying, it's close. Chivalry is a first-person medieval multiplayer game. It's really deep and kind of hard to pick up. For Honor seems like it's going to be more streamlined and easy to pick up. But if you just like the aesthetic of old medieval games, this one is the one to check out for $3.74. Did you see the trailer for Deus Ex Mankind Divided and thought, oh, well, hey, that looks cool. Well, here's the game that you need to play before the other one. Also, if you want your hacky techie game to hold you over to Watch Dogs 2, play this instead of Watch Dogs 1, because you don't want to play Watch Dogs 1. Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut is a 24.5-hour game that includes the Missing Link DLC, and you can get this whole package for easy one payment of $4.99. It's Portal, so what do you want me to say, really? It's awesome. Well, a better substitution would be SSX or Skate, but hey, Olli Olli is on PC, and it's a pretty fun reactionary game. Might be more fun than Steep, but burn. I don't know. Olli Olli is a sports platformer where your goal is to perform many tricks and get to the end of the stage. And it's fun, Olli Olli is a 4-hour game that you could get for $3.24. Oh wow, 2 zombie games in a time where zombies have become very generic, but legitimately, Telltale's The Walking Dead does character development amazingly. Days Gone might have some interesting character development, but I'm leaning towards no. You don't shoot waves of zombies in Telltale's Walking Dead. No, the horror of this is about the savagery of man and the choices you make along the way. I won't spoil this game because it's pretty great. The Walking Dead is a 12.5-hour game that you can pick up for $6.24. If Team Ico's previous projects are any indication, The Last Guardian will probably make people cry, so how about an emotional story about dreams? To the Moon is a game that was made in RPG Maker, but don't really let that discourage you because the premise of the story is worth the admission. It's very well told and it pulls at the heartstrings. To the Moon is a 4-hour game that you can get for $1.99. Bit Blaster XL substitutes something. Trials of the Blood Dragon, I guess? Looks like a bullet hellish side-scrolling shooter, I guess. I just really needed something that cost 49 cents so I could get this list over with. It was a highly rated game on Steam anyways, so that was 49 cents. I guess it looks cool. I haven't played it though. So there we go. 15 games for the price of one AAA game with blank number of hours of gameplay. Come on, that's a really great deal. If you guys found a new game / deal, just let me know in the comments. And when you start playing any of these games, yeah, let me know as well. I'm just curious if I could help you guys. So thank you very much and have a great day. But what do I know? I'm just a sponge.